Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future home buyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of home ownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923. AnyMac Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC. DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage. Lo-Fi Direct. Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent. License Lender. Broker number ML 338923. Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License number MC 338923. Rhode Island License Lender. License number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Sanderson looking in, zone for a pass. He's looking for King, intercepted. He's going to go down the right side. Lawrence down to the 20, 30, down to the 40. He might go all the way.
3rd down and 7. Good jump off the line by Strahan, who gets the sack. Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet, airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree.
4-man rush. Eli throwing into traffic on the sideline. They're going to rule the catch by Manning.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Drawing About the G-Men. I'm Big Jace, joined by Joe Guire and King Zay. It's been a while. Been a long time. Football's been, we left right after free agency and the draft. Not that much has gone on. No real big news. But so let's make our own news. Let's start talking, prepping for the season. It's getting close. We're a couple weeks out from preseason. Next thing you know, it's going to be football Sundays again. And we have an interesting little fun thing to end the show about football Sunday, so stay tuned for that. Let's start off.
Is it Zay giving a preview of the Jets off season?
I do love that. We didn't even start the season yet, and here we go with this. Oh man!
Hey,
welcome back.
All right.
It was a beautiful season.
I think the Jets had a good off season. Zach Wilson, if he
had a great off season, lots of scoring.
Yeah. Cougar Nation, baby.
What I hear, he's already won MVP. Just what I'm hearing. He's already won MVP in the league. That's what I'm hearing.
All right. Okay, let's stick it with our New York team, the Giants. With our Giants talk today, Vegas has the win total for the Giants at 7.5. Are we going to go the over? Or if you're betting, are you betting the over or the under? And realistically, how many games do you have these Giants winning, Joe?
Okay, so for the sake of actual betting purposes, I am going to take the under, and I'll tell you why, right? I think if DJ doesn't suck, I think if Saquon doesn't get hurt, I think this team could go 8-9. They're not gonna, but to me, that's their best case scenario. To do that, I assume Titans, Packers, Ravens, Colts, Vikings, those are losses, right? That's 0-5. That's terrible. Lions, Texans, Jags, Bears, Seahawks, those are all winnable games. I have them going 5-1 best case scenario in there. If they split those games, then you know the kind of season and the kind of team we're having. If they split with a division, that's another 3-3. So again, best case scenario, They could go 8-9. Say they beat all 6 of those teams, go 6-0 there. The Giants could conceivably go 9-8. I can't see them doing better than that. They're not better than Dallas. They're not better than the Eagles. They might be better than the Commanders, but I think the Giants are going to be jockeying for third place. I think really this season's more going to come down to Saquon being healthy for 17 games and Jones either showing he's something you could build off of, because let's be honest, if they were to go 8-9, that would be quite a step forward for this team. Not a giant step forward, so to speak, but a big step forward in the right direction where, again, moving forward now, you know what you can do with next year's picks. You know where you're going to want to improve on this team. So getting the quarterback question solved, I think, is the number one thing on the Giants' mind. Anything beyond 6-11, I think, means things are going well. Dan, you're talking about Daniel Jones as a Pro Bowl alternate at that level. You're talking about Saquon's going to the Pro Bowl. If the Giants can have that that would be the only way to do this. I don't think this defense is good enough for the kinds of run you saw in 7 or 12. I don't think that the defense just not going to be good enough. I think the offense can be respectable and start turning things around. But the defense is good, Zay. I just don't think that they're at the level of making a championship run. And I think really Bradbury, that loss was catastrophic to the defense in the secondary.
Okay. That's your take? You done?
Yeah.
I mean, I completely no. You know what? I can't disagree with anything Joe says. Everything Joe said is absolutely correct. I'm just coming into this with a more positive look because of what I'm hearing and seeing from training camp. You read the reports, you're hearing that they're placing guys in positions they've never been in. They're moving Saquon out. He's doing all types of motions. He's going out in the slot. He's doing all types of things. I think for the first time in a long time, I think the Giants are going to have a relevant offense. I think they're going to have an offense that actually makes sense in 2022. And I think the Giants are going to put up numbers. I honestly do feel that way. And honestly, I look at the schedule. I've seen the Titans drop games before. Again, we've seen it when they dropped again. Again, they dropped to the Jets. No reason why they can't drop it to the Giants. Giants can come out again. Could surprise you. We don't know what they're going to bring to the table. I'm pretty sure this offensive coordinator is not going to show everything in preseason. He's going to run some plays, get some looks, but he's not going to show us everything. And I think that could come out and surprise the Titans. And I don't think the Titans are as strong as they were before. You don't have A.J. Brown. You don't have Julio Jones. You have, I mean, obviously they still have receivers there, but when you lose players like A.J. Brown, that really affects your offense. You have to hope your run game works. And I think the Giants are going to bring it on defense. You're talking about a heavy blitz defense now, a team that's going to run a lot more man. I'm hoping that the corners pick it up because you're talking about getting guys back. Dory Jackson's going to be healthy. You're going to get what's his name? The short corner. What was his name? Jesus, he was hurt for us last year. I can't remember his name, but oh my God, it's going to hit me later.
Logan Ryan?
No, we had another corner that was hurt. He got hurt early in the season. I can't remember his name. He'll be back for us next year, though. I'll get you the name in a second, but he'll be back. I think the Giants really do. And Robinson, I think Robinson actually has potential to be a big-time corner also. He's seen flashes of it. He's a good tackler. He can go out there and play in space. I think Robinson could really, really help out that team. And if the Giants pass rush brings it, we've seen you guys – look, we brought in Kayvon Thibodeau to be a beast. They're saying he's a beast in practice. If he can bring it and have a real serious effect on that, he could affect that whole entire defense, speed up things, and then maybe we won't be such a liability in the secondary. Well, again, I think probably the Giants have the best safety in the NFC East with Xavier McKinley. I honestly believe this will be his shining year. I think last year he should have been a Pro Bowler. I think this year he will be a Pro Bowler. Xavier McKinley has shown us that he could be a leader, and I think he will step up and be a leader. You get Blake Martinez back, who will be your leader also on defense, the signal caller. That's going to be a big part of the Giants defense that they didn't have last year. And we see how it affected them. You have players out there who look like they didn't know what they were doing half the time or where they were going. So you bring back somebody who can stabilize that defense. And I think the Giants I'm putting them at 9.5, 10. I can see it somewhere there. I think the NFC East is going to be a dogfight. I think you could win way more games than I think the Eagles are nothing, honestly. I don't believe in their quarterback situation. I don't believe in the quarterback situation in Washington. And Dallas, again, if Zeke is not motivated, you don't know what type of Dallas team you're going to get. We've seen Dallas get off the hot starts and then fizzle out at the end of the season. They do this a ton of times. So, again, I'm not ready to write off the Giants just yet. I want to see how they look preseason before I make any predictions. But I definitely think the Giants will win more than 7 games.
I will say this. Their schedule is not what I would call difficult.
No.
You know, I think if they can overcome the lack of a real one corner, I guess I would say, you know, Jackson's great. He was a great complimentary piece to James Bradbury. And it's the one thing, I mean, is Robinson going to be day one ready to be an impactful corner? I don't know. I don't think so. That concerns me. But I do think, and I do like what you were saying about what they've been doing in practice. The Giants do need to run an offense that is concurrent with the century that we are in. And it would be great if they started running some different looks and doing things that the rest of the NFL does, and running the occasional trick play like every team does, 5-6 times a game.
Not the third and 10 QB sneak trick play, Joe?
Yeah. Listen, the NFL has evolved in a big way, and the fact of the matter is if you're gonna get the most out of this team, that means that you're gonna use Daniel Jones's legs. That Daniel Jones got to be running around there a little bit. You're splitting Saquon out. I mean, there's some things you could do with DJ there, right?
Yeah.
So if
Darnay Holmes is his name. Sorry, that's the name.
Darnay Holmes. Okay, yeah.
Another corner who's solid for us. He played slot for us. He was a very solid
corner. Again, there's so many ifs with this team. If they brought Daniel Jones the playbook and he just absorbed that thing immediately, there's a lot of ifs here. Saquon being healthy and being productive and hitting holes. There's a lot of ifs. If it all clicks, how good do you think the Giants could be then? What is your best case scenario on the over-under? I know Jace is going to say 14-3, and I'm looking forward to that.
I'm not going to say that. Well, I think that the over is a lot more realistic than a lot of people think. I mean, you talk about that lack of a corner, that number one corner. Really, the only teams that have like a solid number one wide receiver that you're playing, Seattle, DK Metcalf, but who's throwing him the football? Is CeeDee Lamb? I love CeeDee Lamb. I'm a big CeeDee Lamb guy. Is he at that level for the 2 times a year? That's going to be rough. I do think, obviously, A.J. Brown with the new Eagles acquire and Terry McLaurin for the Commanders. But, I mean, Carson Wentz is a question as well. So I think those are going to be rough. And then otherwise, Justin Jefferson, all these other teams have struggles that you're playing at wide receiver. So I think the Giants can take advantage of that. But also, this is where the Giants want to be. This is where they were that first year of Joe Judge, where they did good. Like, zero expectations. Everyone expects you to flop. I like that. I mean, 7.5 is a pretty big number for win totals, I think, for the Giants. To be honest, I think it should be lower. But they're last as far as betting to win the NFC East as far as odds go. I think they're in a good spot. They have some solid pieces. We just need to see if those are the right pieces. Joe, you mentioned 8 and 9 being a great scenario for them. But even if they do go 8 and 9, we're still going to be talking here during the offseason. Is Daniel Jones the guy? Should we go after someone in the draft?
No, listen, Chase. I think if he doubles his win output,
he's our guy. if he
that would be fantastic. Double your win total from last year. Win 8 games. Yeah, I'll do business with you for a few more years. Then I would feel, dude. Again, look, it's not even just winning games, because even if say they go 8 and 9, we will probably be like, dude, they easily could be 10 and 7 right now, and they could be.
So because that's how the Giants play. And that's how the last 10 years it's been this, Zay, where, I mean, it feels like it's either a blowout or this team is like right there at the end of the game and they find ways to lose. Can they turn it all around?
Look who's been in control. It's been lunatics at the head of the thing. We've seen it, guys that just don't understand the game. It seems like the coaching position, at least head coaching position, at least for that more. That's what it seems like. I honestly feel like Daniel Jones going to have he has a group of minds that are actually solid around him that are going to put him in positions to win. They built the offensive line. They built fail safes. Also, they brought in guys who should be able to fill in if guys get hurt. This Giants team has never done this before. We don't do this. You've seen them in the past. They've taken whoever's just available, and they filled it just with slop. These guys have actually took the time out, thought about who they want to put in these positions, who they're going to go after, who they're going to spend money, and they did it on a little bit of money too. Let's not forget the Giants weren't loaded this offseason, and these guys were smart enough to figure out a way to put something competent in front of Daniel Jones with no money. And then they'll go into next season with more money. So if Daniel Jones does go 9 wins, 8 wins, we're in a good position going in the next offseason. You can bring in somebody who's going to affect the game at a higher level. That's what the Giants want to be. I think 7.5 is more than, I think it's low. I think the Giants have some really winnable games in there. You talk about games against the Jaguars, the Lions, games you should be winning. Not to disrespect any team, but these are games you should be winning.
Right. So those games, I mentioned Titans, Packers, Ravens, Colts, Vikings. If you can win one of those games, 2 of those games, 3 of those games, 4 of those games, you're talking about a completely different season now, Zay. That's going to be key is how do they do in those games? But again, more importantly, and where I have this best case scenario slotted is they've got to win 5 out of 6 against Lions, Texans, Jags, Bears, and Seahawks.
I agree.
If you go 2 and 4 in those games, then we know what kind of season it is, and that's bad. And then finally in the division, are you going to go 3 and 3 and split with these guys, or are you going to go 0 and 6? Because if you're 0 and 6, again, with those other losses to those good 5 teams, that's 11 losses. That's a 6-11 season, which I have in bold. If things don't go well, that's about where I see them. I guess I understand where the 7.5 makes sense for this team.
I can't see it. I think
No. Zay, I'll say this. Listen, I don't think, and I think especially because if Daniel Jones is terrible, I mean, if he's terrible or he gets hurt, Tyrod Taylor will win some games. I think Tyrod Taylor could win some games for sure. Can he get the Giants to 6 if he was the starter? I think he could. I think that's a realistic expectation of what you could do with this team on paper as is.
He's got enough weapons.
I don't know that they've got a play. Do you think they could get to the playoffs? Do you think they could be a wild card?
There's enough wild card spots. The Giants should be able to get in there. Honestly, they have enough weapons on offense. We complain about pass rush. We should have pass rush between Aziz and between Kayvon. We should, and obviously we're paying whatchamacallit in the middle, Leonard Williams. We should have no problem getting to Pat. The Giants have really filled a lot of holes that they've had in the past. They filled a lot of holes in the sinking ship. I think it's time they started floating. I'm just being honest. They've really fixed that offensive line. You have weapons everywhere on offense between Kadarius Toney, Wendell Robinson, Kenny Golladay. You're paying him a ton of money. And let's not forget, a couple of off seasons ago, he was the big cream of the crop. So it's time for him to be that. Because if he was anywhere else, everyone be talking about how great of a wide receiver he is. It's time for him to be what we're paying him to be. Sterling Shepard, obviously, he's not going to start the season. He'll be coming in later. You had Daniel Bellinger. He was all at the tight end camp all summer. The Giants have weapons everywhere. They fixed the line. They have pass rush. The corners are in. The safeties are much stronger. But the Giants shouldn't be that bad. I honestly don't feel they should be this bad. And they have coaching.
I just feel like a year ago today, you and I had this exact same conversation on this exact same show. And it's like, no, I get it. And it would be great if all of this talent melded together. But all the other teams in football got better. All of them. Even the Lions are a better team than they were a year ago. So to say that, I mean, look, the Giants plugged a million holes and then had to let go of James Bradbury, which was like such a kick in the crotch. After, and again, listen, this regime was dealt that hand. There wasn't much they could do. I get it. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, losing James Bradbury doesn't make you a better football team under any circumstances.
No, it doesn't.
Especially when initially draft happened. And again, you kind of assume the Giants were going to figure something out or work something out, and that it wouldn't just be like he's gone, DFA, go sign wherever for nothing. I remember when the Giants signed Leonard Williams to the extension, which Jace, you'll recall, I was very happy about. I love Leonard Williams. I think guys like that are so disruptive to football. It also helps. I was a nose tackle. I think that's so important on a defense is to have a guy that creates pressure up the middle. He's a beast. Even when he doesn't have numbers, Leonard Williams is great. But when the Giants signed Leonard Williams, do you remember what I said to you that day, Jace? I said this. It doesn't make the Giants a better football team today. Yeah. It just means they've secured his services for longer, but the defense didn't get better that day. And so losing Bradbury didn't make the defense better. It made it a little bit worse. As you said, somebody's got to step up. They've got quite a few guys back there. We've spent a lot of time, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round over the last 3, 4, 5 years trying to find corners that are going to stick. We've seen some of these guys play well in stints. Someone's going to have to really step up and be the other corner. That's huge.
I don't think it has to happen that fast. I think you can just be serviceable right now. Again, we didn't have a pass rush before. I think the Giants are bringing a pass rush this year. You guys know I wasn't big on Kayvon. But from what I'm seeing in the clips and what I'm hearing, when I read the articles, he's supposed to be a monster. And if you compare him with Aziz, who apparently put on 50 pounds of muscle or something, 30 pounds of muscle, something like that in the summer, you can talk about not really having to worry about putting your corners in a liability if you're getting to the quarterback. The problem before was we weren't getting to the quarterback. That's why corners were a liability. That's why we had to have great corners, because we couldn't get a pass rush. Now we have a pass rush. And we have our linebacker in the middle who should be able to figure things out for us. Yeah. Again, I just feel this is a different feel for the Giants.
It's funny, real quick. Jackrabbit Jenkins, dude. I remember so many times after games, he'd be like, "I can't cover somebody for 7 seconds. We got to be able to get to the quarterback." You need great corners when you don't have any sort of pass rush. The question is Azeez Ojulari, is he going to have a better season this year as impactfully? Again, doesn't necessarily mean he has to have 10 sacks or whatever, but is he going to be just as effective? I think Thibodeau's going to be. Here's my thing. I love Thibodeau. That was the guy I wanted the whole time. I'm so thrilled and I wanted Neil too. I was so excited that was the 2 guys that we got here, but I think Thibodeau could be a Lawrence Taylor type factor. You saw it with Bosa in San Francisco. You've seen it with some of these guys where they show up and a defense not instantly, but gradually transforms into one of the top units in the game because of the impact that you make. I was more excited about that when Bradbury could have still been the corner. I worry a little bit if these guys don't always bring it, you're always susceptible to a big completion downfield, and
Yeah. So the same was Bradbury. Maybe we had Bradbury was accepted. So, we could get hit with a big ball. It happens.
I think Bradbury having this pass rush would be an absolute lockdown guy.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, that's absolutely great. But when the Giants have had pass rushes before that were really good, we didn't even always have the top corners in the league.
Fair enough, dude.
Corey Webster. One time we did with Sam Madison, and he was always injured. Yeah.
86, dude. Mark Jackson, Terry Kennard. Terry Kennard's nickname by Bill Parcells was Toast because he always got burned. That was in 86, the first time I heard that expression. And it was about the starting safety on the 86 Giants, Terry Kennard, who was terrible. But it didn't matter because nobody was getting the ball down the field because LT was driving you down with Banks and Marshall and Burt and the gang.
I think we got two of those guys. I'm going to be real. We got dogs. We got two of those guys.
I like what we have. But
I'll give you that. Say that is the recipe. But the other thing that also, as we were talking here, that it clicked in my head. Who won the 4 Giants Super Bowl championships from a coaching standpoint?
Parcells and Coughlin.
Right. And what could you say about those guys? I don't mean old and white. What else would you say about those guys? I mean, they're honestly both legendary NFL head coaches. Yeah. Like, coaching really does matter. And I'm sure Bob McAdoo is one day going to get a chance to really show what he can do. Joe Judge. I just listen. I think the head coach of the New York Giants, I don't know how great this, Brian Dable's going to be. Maybe he'll evolve into that. Parcells certainly did. But you need a coach who's a really, really good football coach.
Yeah.
And it really does matter if this guy's the right guy. I know everybody loves him, but everybody loved Joe Judge too. I'll say from, again, talking about what you've seen in camp, Joe Judge seemed to be getting railed a lot in camp for some of the stupid things that he did.
They're not saying nothing about.
Yeah, we're not hearing about fights.
Yeah, right. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, I think even the media digs this guy. The players are buying in. You plugged a bunch of holes. What do we have here? Maybe you have something. It's easy to also be like, well, the Cowboys always blow it. But the Cowboys also always win like 9 or 10 games. Like, that's a shoo-in. That's a problem. Wow. The Eagles are a better team. Is Jalen Hurts a real quarterback? Maybe.
The Eagles have lost a lot. I wouldn't go that far.
They've gained a lot. What are you talking? Okay.
Yes, they gained. Look, again, A.J. Brown is only as good as his quarterback throwing him the ball. I don't believe they have a quarterback. They don't. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about the Eagles some other time. But I want to wrap up the Giants by saying, like what you mentioned earlier, Joe, this is a very similar narrative to what we were saying last year. You got the guys on the field. The only 2 questions are going to be, like you just mentioned, the coaching. I think Brian Dable, we've seen what the Bills offense can do. Yeah, they have Josh Allen. Yeah, they had Stephon Diggs, but they've been able to produce. I think bringing that over will help the Giants at least offensively. And the other big question the past couple of years have been injuries. So hopefully they can revamp the training staff. Guys can take care of their bodies more. But, that's something you can't really plan for or anything.
Well, not playing in January the last 10 years should, be helping to keep some of these guys fresh, I would think.
There you go. That's one thing about this Giants team. They're very young. They're very young all around.
Yeah. So we just need, what?
Too dumb to know better. I'm coining the phrase right now.
Okay.
This young Giants team goes on a run. That's what it's going to be.
I like that. I like that a lot. But, even if no one's expecting the playoffs this year. This is a stepping stone year.
There's too many playoff teams for you not to expect it every year. There's too many playoff teams.
You're right. But, all right. Let's take a quick break, hear from more sponsors, and then we'll stop talking about the Giants, talk a little bit about other teams in the NFL. So we'll be right back after this.
There's no bigger investment than home ownership. And to make sure the house is up to your standards, you need a professional to look it over.
Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections is a licensed home inspector and a member of the Connecticut Association of Home Inspectors. Brian was a contractor for over 15 years, so he knows how homes should be constructed and how mechanicals should work.
What makes me a good home inspector was the 20 years that I was a home improvement person, doing all the different repairs that I have done and what other people have done wrong that I had to go out and fix. So I have a pretty quick eye on seeing what's right and what's wrong. Before you move, call Shamrock Home Inspections.
Before you make the biggest investment of your life, call Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections at 860-268-2566 or visit shamrockhomeinspectionsct.com.
All right, big shout out to Shamrock Home Inspections for sponsoring today's episode. Just talking about the Giants win total. Let's talk about Super Bowl favorites. Let's talk about a little bit more betting. As of right now, the Bills, Brian Daboll's former team, Vegas has them as the favorites to win the Super Bowl at what's the number there? It's plus
10,000, isn't?
What?
Giants plus 10,000.
Plus 10,000. Jeez. Joe, you taking that?
What do you think, Zay? I'll throw a couple bucks on the Giants. Who knows? You never know.
10,000, yeah, what the hell? I mean, it's not gonna happen.
Why not? Yeah, dude, not for nothing. Almost every golf tournament, I find like has-beens and like names I know, and I'm like, buck on this guy at like plus 50,000. Yeah, why not? Who cares? It's a buck.
Yeah, 10 plus 10,000, I would do it. I mean, because look, if they get to the playoffs, then you start sweating. It gets fun, you know.
Yeah, why not?
Even if they get a wild card, you start sweating. You're like, oh my god. Well, you see what they've done before.
All right, but who is the actual favorite in your eyes, Joe? Is it Buffalo or someone else?
It's the Bucks for me at 750. Easier conference, easier division to win. So I think the Bucks are going to win another one, and then I think Tom Brady's actually going to retire again. As ridiculous as that sounds, here's three other ones that I really like, and I like the. I think you'll like these two. I like the Chargers at plus 1,600. I like the Bengals. I can't believe the Bengals plus 2,000. And I know Zay hates these guys, but the Titans at plus 3,000. Dude, healthy D train's running for like 2,500 yards. Oh my God.
Titans don't got it at quarterback.
Tannehill's
but they
fantastic.
don't have to pass the ball anymore. AJ Brown's
we've seen what happened. Derrick Henry.
Yeah, they replaced AJ Brown with like a younger, saner, slightly faster version of him. I'll take that guy all day for a third of the price.
All they've been saying in training camp is he can't complete a pass. He's inaccurate. Look, the game is faster. Liberty ain't D1. It ain't the SEC. It's D1, excuse me, but it ain't, it ain't the big time. It's a faster game in the NFL. They said he is terrible.
I don't even think Malik Willis is going to play at all.
Yeah, no.
I wouldn't.
Not at least for 2 years.
Okay,
maybe.
So.
If ever.
Oh, all right. I like those.
I'm just saying, you never know, dude.
It's hard. I think Joshua Dobbs is a great quarterback. He'll never get a chance in this league. It's hard. It really is.
If you're not a first or second round pick, there's no definite opportunity you're even going to get a shot at the gig, no matter how good you might be. That is facts in the NFL. For Dak to have been a third round pick and to have turned into what he's turned into is very rare in this league, because it's, again, how did he get the gig? It was the result of an injury.
Dak was really good, though. I think Dak was overlooked. I think he was really good. He was really good in college.
Sure, and we could end up saying the same thing about Malik Willis. But
no, I think that fight really ruined it for him. That fight he got into right before the draft, he was hanging out at, I guess, a concert or something. He got into a big old fight. He got knocked out, whatever. I think that really affected his character, and I think that's why he fell further in the draft, if I'm being honest, because they care about all his characters-ish, unless you're the Cowboys. So, makes sense.
Right.
It's nice that some teams don't care what your criminal background is. It's fair.
I wish more teams thought like that. Jeez. Cheat a little sometimes. Anyway, no. Look, the Patriots done it. It's got them how many championships? They gotta cheat.
Yeah, but I mean, they also had Tom Brady and the best coach in football. So,
But Super Bowl favorites.
You know what though?
Hmm.
We've got morals on this team. That's why Plexico Burris is gone. That's why we got rid of all pro kickers, Josh Brown and Aldrich Rojas. Remember the DWIs? Yeah. I'm glad the Giants have this high moral code. It's done so great the last decade.
yeah.
You know, all these teams hanging up to Lombardi, and you're like, you know what though? We're doing it the right way.
I wish we had a criminal. Anyway.
Oh God! All right, Zay, who you guys your Super Bowl favorite right now?
I would have to say the Rams. It's like, yeah, you lost Odell, you might get him back, but you pick up Allen Robinson, you get Aaron Donald, probably the best player in football, back. I mean, how are they not the favorites? Like, that's just how I see it. Obviously, I can understand what Joe was saying. I think the Rams are stacked. I think obviously adding Allen Robinson and the possibility of adding Odell Beckham back at the midpoint of the season, somewhere to the end. Obviously, he has to heal a little, and then they'll try to work him back, and we see how he can be effective for them. And again,
I think this is Vegas saying there's no way Matthew Stafford wins back-to-back championships.
Which is crazy. We know him to be a good quarterback. Matthew Stafford's thrown for 5,000 yards many times on a terrible team.
Yeah.
And you keep giving him weapons. I don't see how you get a healthy Cam Akers back for the full season. Like, how are they not the favorites?
What are they, fifth? Are they like the fifth? Is that I feel like they were down the list a little bit. Fourth? What a slap in the face.
You got the Bills, the Bucks, and the Chiefs all ahead of them.
They're like, we just did this like a few months ago. What?
And
yeah, but I mean,
the
Bengals teams.
I agree with Joe. The Bengals, obviously, they looked absolutely dominant in the playoffs against probably one of the machines in the AFC who don't even have their best weapon anymore. So how are they not the favorite? Like, I guess I don't know.
See, somehow Justin Herbert, according to Las Vegas, has a better chance of winning a Super Bowl than does Joe Burrow.
I'll bet you this one, and I'll put this on. Y'all can put me on this and quote me for this. The Patriots will win a Super Bowl before the Chargers do again. The Patriots will win before the Chargers. Justin Herbert will not win one. I honestly think the Patriots could probably, if anything, they'd be my sneaky favorite, my dark horse for this year.
Have the Chargers never won a Super Bowl? Is that right?
I don't think they've.
No, they haven't.
Are they one of the handful of loser teams?
I believe so.
Yeah, they've all right. So 94 was the year they the last year they were in it and lost. Yeah, I agree. The Chargers are a franchise I think is doomed to never win a Super Bowl. And
didn't win with LT and Phillip Rivers, which is probably your best chance. Sean,
yeah,
all that whole entire Quentin Jammer, you had stars everywhere. You couldn't win. You couldn't beat the Patriots.
Superstars on offense, defense, head coach, legends all around. Nothing.
Yeah, no.
Hard to explain.
Mac Jones will win one before Justin Herbert. Quote me on it. Write it down.
All right.
Jace, write that down too, though, because if they do happen to win the Super Bowl this year, we will want to use that cut in a promo.
Yeah.
About say.
Yeah, no, you could definitely keep that one.
Okay.
You imagine it'll be you saying Herbert said, and it'll be him holding up the Lombardi Trophy with like the game-winning touchdown pass.
Look, they're just certain franchises.
I'm joking. I agree with you. I'm just breaking your balls. I agree.
I can never see the Browns winning it. I can never see Minnesota winning it. I can never see the Chargers. I'm just sorry.
I'm with you.
I think the Jets will win it before them. I'm sorry. I put that out there.
Well, I mean, you are a Jets fan, low-key.
No, ha. But look, already their quarterback is putting up better stats than Herbert. Already, the season hasn't even begun. He's already putting up better stats. So he's a winner, bro.
Okay.
Did you mention the Arizona Cardinals as a team that'll never win a Super Bowl?
I don't talk about the Arizona Cardinals because if Daniel Jones has a good year, they screwed it up for the Giants. Because now we're gonna have to pay him a ton of money.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You ever think about that?
I just can't ever see a team in the desert winning a Super Bowl. Doesn't sound right.
Do we realize Daniel Jones has to win one playoff game to be almost $100 million guy? $200 million. Think about what Kyler got, and he hasn't won one. Daniel Jones won one. Just one.
Yeah. Very true. But let me wrap up this topic. Yeah, I got the Bills as a favorite. I mean, even I still think they are, especially with the addition of Von Miller. And if OBJ plays him with Josh Allen, I think that would be, if they can get healthy, that's going to be scary. But my dark horse, though, plus 4,000, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Fresno State connection, Derek Carr to Devontae Adams, plus Chandler Jones there on the line, in the pass rush. I think this is a team. We talked a lot last year. They were exceeding expectations. Now they have some stability. Josh McDaniels there and a head coach. He knows what it's like to be great. He's been around New England. I think this is a team that can compete for a Super Bowl even. So yeah,
there'll be a shipwreck halfway through the season if Josh McDaniels will run back to New England.
Maybe. I don't know. I think he'll do okay. He dipped his toe in the water, then came back. I think he's got a better understanding now.
This could be either this put it to you like this. In 2004, I remember saying if the Red Sox made the playoffs, I thought they were going to win the World Series because they seemed to be a team built to win series, not to win games in the regular season. And obviously that's how things turned out. The Raiders have to make the playoffs. They're in I don't even say that in a
they made it last.
They have to make listen.
They're in the dog of a division, bro.
This entire division is playoff worthy. Somebody's out. Maybe two teams are out. And it could very well be the Raiders. That said, Jace, I think you're absolutely right. I think they've got the personnel to win a Super Bowl. It's going to be a matter of can they do enough in the regular season to get a ticket to the dance? And to me, that's the biggest question mark, and that's why they're sitting where they're at.
They barely made it last year. Just get it a damn team.
But the idea of Carr, who I love, and Devontae Adams, with a guy like Darren Waller on the team, that they could do some damage. Yeah. That's a good football team. Again, it's going to be a matter of do they get into the postseason?
Yeah.
You could win 10 games and maybe not make the postseason.
Russell Wilson,
that would be tragic.
Herbert, Pat Mahomes, that's going to be a dog of a division, boy. That's going to be a dog. You got to have a quarterback, and I just don't think Derek Carr is the best quarterback in that division. I'm sorry. He can have the weapons. I don't think he's the best quarterback.
Listen, him not being the best quarterback in that division is 100% true. He's not. But Devontae Adams might be the thing that evens him up with everybody else or makes him better.
Well, yeah, because the Chiefs obviously don't have the biggest weapon anymore. The Broncos don't have any weapons. I don't know who
Jerry Jeudy?
Isn't Jerry
Cortland
Jeudy?
Sutton?
Is he in trouble or something like that? Something happened to Jerry Jeudy. I don't know.
He got injured.
Oh, he got injured.
Season. Yeah, you remember that game? That was against the Giants.
The Broncos wide receiver core knows it's got to step up its game. They've obviously got a really good quarterback. I happen to think that Russell Wilson's on the downside side of his career, if you will. I don't see him getting tremendously better in the next 2 seasons. So this is a Broncos team that's going to try to bring in a legend who's won a Super Bowl for a franchise that he means the world to. You're going to hope your defense is good enough, but it's a familiar story. Worked in Super Bowl 50. Let's see if they can do it again.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy got arrested. He got arrested in the offseason. That's what I'm saying. I think he still might be facing a suspension.
Okay. But I will also say, as far as like betting goes, talking about suspensions, the Browns, if Deshaun Watson can touch the field, I think this team.
Oh, he touched the field. The Joe's dismay, he will be playing this year. Whether
he'll touch the field, whether the field likes it or not.
Whether it's 4 games or 8 games. Or whether the field likes it at the moment and decides later it doesn't like it.
Oh my God. Okay, we're getting off.
He had his own little towels to collect DNA evidence. I mean, that's like master criminal ability. I like that. Clearly, this is a guy who'll be able to run that Browns offense, which is also full of criminals.
Yeah. Well, all right.
Listen, the Browns. I get it. The Browns are so terrible that you have to take wife beaters and whatever you want to serial massage getters or whatever weird.
Don't do that, because if the Panthers and the Seahawks knew it was only going to be 4 games, they would have probably took it four close to 8 games. They would have took the same chance. I think
they would have. I think those teams are. But they're also garbage dumpster teams as well. There's like 4 quarterbacks on the Panthers, and it's like every one of those guys sucks. You guys know this, right?
Yeah.
We all know it. I mean, go out and collect a few. Yeah, go find a few more quarterbacks you could throw in that room that nobody else wants. All trash teams that were like, dude, we'll try anyway. How many accusations? That's not enough to stop us. We're desperate because we suck and we want to get out of this vicious cycle. So yeah, you're like, if you get suspended a year, at least the next year we'll have something to look forward to.
Yeah. But
I hope that Browns fans get a minimum of 12 games of Josh Rosen this year.
Josh Rosen.
Yeah, they just signed Josh Rosen. Jacoby Brissett is terrible. Everybody knows he's terrible. Anybody who thinks that guy could navigate through an 8-game or 12-game or 16-game suspension is out of their mind. Jacoby Brissett is not. He should not even be in the NFL. It's a shock that there's guys that are unemployed and this guy's got a job.
The idea is that
I would bring Tim Tebow in before I gave the reins to Jacoby Brissett.
All right. Kick him out the group. Tim Tebow. All right, you took it too far.
Tebow.
You took it too far. Come on, guy.
Yes, we're getting a little wild, a little rowdy. And we have something a little wild and fun after this last message from one of our sponsors.
We can expect another wet summer in Connecticut, and that means more mosquitoes than ever. If you don't have your home serviced for mosquito control and you find you're spending most of your outside time swatting those little pests, or you did have your yard sprayed but you still have bites all over your body, you're in luck. Mosquito Shield of Central Connecticut provides the best value in mosquito control services because of how they treat your yard using the Mosquito Shield tailored treatment system. All mosquito control service is not the same. They don't use a fixed schedule or an identical product, one-size-fits-all service program. You can't control mosquitoes on a set number of sprays or visits. Unlike the competition, Mosquito Shield of Central Connecticut will service you for the season, whatever it takes to provide superior results. The promise has awarded them an industry-leading customer retention rating of 90%. Visit MosquitoShieldCNCT.com to schedule an appointment with Wade DeCesare and enjoy the rest of the summer mosquito-free.
Big shout out to Mosquito Shield, the goat of protecting you from mosquitoes. Speaking of goats, new segment, Goated. Going to discuss who is the goat in a given category. Starting off today, what is the goat of game day food? When you're sitting back watching footballs for hour on end on a Sunday, what must you have? What's the number one food for you to have there, Joe? We're going to start off with you.
Well, it's a giant sub, and it could be from anywhere. It could be any kind of sub, any kind of meat. It could be tuna. It could be seafood and crab. It could be your favorite meat. It could be turkey. It could be ham, capicola, whatever you like. It doesn't matter as long as you have lettuce, tomato. You put all the fixings on it, little oil and vinegar, some mayo if that's your fancy, whatever you like. But it's got to be a sandwich. I want to be able to keep going back to it if I'm watching, a slate of games for 7 or 8 straight hours. A sandwich. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Now, if we're
I knew
talking
you were gonna go
snack
with that.
food to go along with it, that's pretzels. I personally, some people like the rods, some people like the sticks, some people like snaps. Personally, I'm a hard sourdough kind of guy. Those are the big, fat, thick ones that take a lot longer to eat. I'll gnaw one for an inning or a quarter. Every couple of drives, I'll break one. I'll put a little mustard on it, spicy mustard. I'm like Obama in that regard. I like the Dijon.
Some of them come with the mustard on it, like the little mustard powder on it.
Yeah, that's dope, isn't it? And then finally, on a kind of a desserty, I'm a big peanut M&M guy. I like to take a big bowl, throw some peanut M&Ms in there. This is what I call my white suburban male trail mix. I'll take some snow caps, put some snow caps in there. I've got some lightly sea salted cashews and almonds, and I'll mix that all together. That is a fun little treat to have on the side if you're trying to be somewhat health conscious, even though it's not at all.
Damn, I don't know why, but when I thought of this, I figured you'd say either pretzels or a party sub or whatever.
Yeah,
both of them. So
that's all I do. If you've ever seen me watching a game, that's pretty much it. It's a sandwich and a bowl of my trail mix.
I mean, I like the sandwich. I don't know about pretzels. Trail mix is okay, but.
Dude, even George
As
Bush
the
used
goat,
to watch
the
football with pretzels. Pretzels are a
goat.
staple.
Pretzels are the goat of anything.
Bro, there's like 45 different styles of pretzels. Why do you think that is? It's far superior to your chip.
They suck so much, you got to get away from them.
Why did he talk about pretzels like it's Kama Sutra? It's just pretzels, guy.
Pretzels have been in bars and associated with drinking since alcoholism first became a term. Pretzels has a long history of being the unsanitary food to eat at a bar. Okay, they would just put bowls of pretzels out, and you just dip your hands in the. This was during the Spanish flu of 1917. I mean. And people were still doing it. That's how much pretzels mean to people. Jace, you might not even know this. President Bush was watching a football game and nearly choked to death on a pretzel.
Darn.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And Secret Service didn't know he was in there almost dying.
Damn.
That's how powerful a pretzel is. It can take down a president.
Okay. I mean, I like pretzels, don't get me wrong, but goat status, I don't know. I don't know.
Pick a better chip than a pretzel. What's better than a pretzel? Cheese puffs?
Normal fucking
I'll get into
Doritos?
I'll get into that in a second.
I don't like potato chips. Potato chips are greasy.
Well,
they're not good for you at all. Even the nice kind made from real potatoes. Yeah. It's like you don't want that.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's the New Yorker in me, but my whole list is greasy. It obviously has to be pizza. I'm a New York. Papa John's, Domino's, go get it from the local spot, run to the city, get a pie. Wherever it's pizza. For me, that's just what it is. It always has been and always will be pizza. Because you can pair that with almost anything. You could put wings, you could put soda. It's great. It's pizza. You can't go wrong. You can eat it any time of the day. And you can eat it when it gets cold. You don't even got to technically get up to warm it up. I could sit there and probably eat about, well, now maybe 3 slices, but back in the day, almost a whole pie, 6 slices on a good day, depending on how well the Giants were playing. If they didn't make me sick to my stomach, it can go all day. But then obviously, you have to have.
Zay, I love this. because after halftime, I do have to put some of the sandwich back into the fridge for a while to stay fresh. And you're right, the pizza can just sit there literally all day. You could even fall asleep, wake up watching Sports Center at 2A, and have a little midnight snack.
Can't go wrong with it. But make sure you have your Lay's with it. Lay's is the best potato chip, in my opinion, ever created. I don't care what flavor you have it, sour cream, barbecue, ranch. I don't care. I love Lay's. Lay's are a favorite. And no, I don't like wavy. They have to be regular, original. I don't like the wavy, sorry. And if I am being healthy and want to be healthy, I will have some pistachios. You never can go wrong with those. You can eat those literally all day. I thought one day I was going to die from pistachios. I ate it literally all day. It did nothing. I mean, it did it. I think it's probably the greatest peanut. I'd argue it's probably the greatest nut. Peanut. I couldn't think of anyone better.
I'm sorry, did you try to kill yourself by eating a lot of pistachios? I couldn't follow that story.
I have an addiction. I literally have to hide it. Like, it's real bad.
I love almonds and cashews a ton. Nuts are great.
Yeah, but the almonds they get dry.
I like pistachios a lot too. That's been a more recent thing for me. You've been a long time pistachio guy.
It's got to be shells, yes, and it has to be shells because I don't understand how they get in the season on the unshelled ones. I don't know who's picking it. I always feel like they're taking them out the shells, they're sucking on them, and they're throwing salt on them. I don't like it. It has to be shelled. Don't bring me unshelled pistachios. Ever.
That feels like an episode of 2020 in the near future. Do you like pistachios? That's how they make them.
See, that's too much work. I don't like the show.
Yeah, there's a big salt machine just falling on them. Yeah.
Honestly, how could you crack a pistachio and not eat it? How could you? I don't know. So how are you making unsalted pistachios?
Even if you did a few like that, eventually you would have to. Right. You would. You're totally right.
All right.
I don't know. Somebody needs to investigate unsalted pistachios, unshelled pistachios. Investigate it. I don't trust those.
Nah, the shells are too much work, bro. I just want to sit back, relax, and just munch.
You know what? It's funny that you say that. You know what fruit I love? You know what I love a ton, but it's too much work?
What?
Cherries.
Oh, yeah, with the pits.
They eat around the pit.
Dude, it's like, I'll eat a couple, and I'm like, you gotta spit the seed out, and it's too much. You gotta like collect them. Cherries would be, if you could figure out a way to get that stupid seed out. Oh my God, all day.
Like seedless grapes, you have to eat seedless grapes. You can't eat it with the seeds.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
It's retarded.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been a big sunflower seeds guy because of the shells and that stuff. So
I'll be honest, I'm a huge fan of watermelon. The seeds.
I just eat
the seeds are a bit much. There's a lot
of don't like watermelon. Sorry, don't like it. Can't stand it. I hate watermelon. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's so good.
Especially during the heat wave, like now. So good.
Yeah, it's mostly they're. You know what it is? They're made of water. They're very water heavy.
Oh, maybe that's why they call watermelon.
Well, it is. Yeah, they're. Yeah, I can't believe. I was going to say that, and I'm not going to say it. I can't believe you don't like watermelon. I won't make because I just assume everybody does. But no, I'm not surprised.
All right.
It's not for everybody.
No.
All right. Listen, the top two foods, none of y'all said. I mean, Zay mentioned it. But then there's the real goat of game day food is nachos. You can get the coffee table, put some aluminum foil over it, just put a mound of chips, put cheese all over, guac, sour cream, salsa all over, and just sit there all day with a big table of chips and just go at it while your friends are there. Nachos, that's the go.
I just want to feel good about myself after that.
Well, he's literally taking his ottoman and he's foiling it, and that's where the nachos are. Here's my problem with nachos. It's twofold. Number one, you got to eat those nachos in the first 45 seconds, and then after that, it's wet, it's dry, It's sometimes you pick one up. What's the floppy ones? What happened to that one? I don't even know what happened to that one.
Soggy. And what
Zay knows what I'm talking about.
All
Yeah,
the cheese.
Zay knows what I'm talking about. Sometimes
the
you grab a
best
nacho and the very end of it is still crispy, and you pick it up and it's just flapping in the breeze.
Well, listen,
What happened to that thing?
First
I'll
off,
tell you what.
it
I'll bring
absorbed
that
all
back.
the cheese.
Zay, I don't eat that
all the
one.
cheese. First off, second off, listen. Those aren't nachos.
There was no wrong answer. You did it.
No. Nachos are goated.
Oh my god.
Nachos are goated.
Oh
You
my
have whatever
God.
you want. You're a picky eater. Oh, I don't like guacamole. Oh, can you just take it? Oh, there's even some chips that don't have cheese on them. So if you like,
I prefer you pick tortillas. If you pick chips and dips with like tortilla, I'd be like, yeah, I could agree with that because that's dope. But nachos.
Listen, I'm not talking about the fake cheese. You got to do your real, actual cheese.
Any cheese. It
Put
cools
that
down,
on there.
and then you got three.
No, when it
stuck
cools down,
together,
yes, Zay.
it's
Just
a
a
hot
big chunk
rubbery
of cheese.
mess. It's not
That's so
good.
good. That's
Dude,
good.
that mound of nachos by the 4 o'clock game it's a disaster.
It's gone by the 4 o'clock game. We're round 2.
I hope it's gone by the first quarter of the first.
Well, there
game.
you go. Yeah, it's by the end of the Giants' first 3 and out. If you haven't finished the nachos, just throw them out. It's over.
No,
You missed the window.
no.
You missed the window. It was about a 1:34 drive. It was a pass that hit Barkley in the feet. It was a 1-yard run up the middle. It was an incompletion off Ingram's hands, and then they punted, and the nachos are no good now.
Thank God we never gonna say Ingram again. Thank God we're not gonna say
That is, that is, by the
saying,
way, addition
week
by
7.
subtraction of the offseason is the loss of Butterfingers Ingram.
Yeah.
That gets you 4 more games right there. That wins you 3 more games. You just won
That
yourself
very
3
well
more.
could. Yeah,
Maybe.
literally, right?
All right.
Put it like this, dude. The next time the Giants, with like $1:30 to go on a 3rd and 5, need to complete a pass, just knowing Evan Ingram's not an option,
I feel better.
like 80% chance that you could get that conversion. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right.
Oh man.
I want to wrap this up with my honorable mention, though. Wings. How do we not mention wings?
I mentioned wings, but
You mentioned them, but
Well,
wings are great.
it's Zay, can I tell you where he went wrong? And it shocks me. But as everyone can see, Jace has lost some weight. He's eating better, and he's mistaken 2 complimentary side dishes for main courses. Nachos, again, is what you warm up. We warm up with that before you eat something different. Okay, nachos is a warm up food. It's why literally you.
no, that's the beauty of it.
It's
For
only meant to
game
be
day
eaten
food.
just to wet your
Yeah,
palate a
that's-
little bit.
I mean,
You
Joe,
get rid of
that's
that
the
weird
beauty of
nacho.
a
You
game
move it,
day
and then you
food. You're
order your
always
main course.
munching. You're always munching. There's no meal. There's no big meal to be like, oh, I'm done. I'm stuffed. You're
Jace.
always munching throughout the whole day.
If I showed up at your house and you just had wings, nothing else, I would leave.
I'd have wings
I didn't
and
realize
nachos.
they weren't serving lunch here. Wings, that's it?
You've never had wings.
Oh,
Wings
look,
are a
there's
meal.
celery and carrot sticks to go along with it. You could dip it in the blue cheese or the ranch if you prefer. That is a side dish. That's why they're not
Wings are-
drumsticks, they're wings. It's a side dish, and then you have 3 slices of pie.
Okay.
It's a warm-up act. Don't confuse a big giant grinder, which is a sandwich for multiple people.
That's the thing, though. Game
No,
day. I just want to be
hot dogs.
munching, watching games. I want
ribs, anything, sausage. I would have gave you anything. You nachos? That's a side.
nachos.
Nachos is like a side. You can have like, even in the
Beef
movies,
on-
you only eat nachos for a little while, and then you move it to the side for your popcorn. Like it's never a main dish in anything.
You guys
You
just
know-
haven't had good nachos. I'm sorry about that.
Oh,
That is true. I've never had good nachos for more than about a minute. And then they got soggy and gross, and I just
All right.
sort of. They just sit there. At some point, that mound turns. It gets unrecognizable because of the sour cream in the mix, right? The guac.
Beans.
It was white. It was white and green with some beans, right, and some cheese, and then suddenly it's like
at first. At night, it was nice in the beginning.
And it's like a brown mix of unrecognizable. And then, like I said, I'll reach in and it's like, oh, here's a decent one, and then I go in for another, and it's weird. It's just like, what is that? How did that happen?
It absorbed all the flavors, Joe.
It absorbed all the moisture.
All the flavors.
Now everything is dry, like the meat. The cheese now is wet, as is the nacho. It's no good.
Nachos
Bro,
are-
you could have went with anything, broads. Literally anything in this world.
Zay's giving you like 15 better alternative answers right now.
No.
I know for Jason.
No, I will live and die by my nachos. They're goated. They're
I'm
great.
bringing my own lunchbox. Jason, invite me. If you invite me over for the game, I'm bringing my own lunch because
You're gonna have to.
It's only got nachos.
He's bringing the nachos. I guess we'll have to
can't
bring a
absorb
pizza and a
alcohol.
giant sub.
You can't absorb the alcohol with nachos. What? You'll be. You'll
Yeah, you
work
don't
tomorrow
want to absorb it so you can get more effed up. You want your body to absorb it.
Nachos is the number one shared dish on a date that leads to date rape. Honestly, statistically speaking, because it's not very filling. It's not very good.
Sounds like a fact.
You start eating it for that first enjoyable minute, and then what happens? You go right to the drinking. And that's what happens. It's dangerous food. Dangerous on a lot of levels.
You're an asshole. Joe.
Should be ashamed of yourself.
What the hell? Oh, God. You jackass. All right. This has been fun. John about the G-Men back. We'll keep it going Sundays. Hopefully we can get Sean back. But who knows there. But this was fun.
Hey, next week's go-to, we should do side dishes for watching football games if you've already got pizza and a giant sub. Like the other things you might want, like, nachos, wings.
You ever feel like you're the only one that did your homework on the front?
Bro, you guys are wild. Nachos are great. So
They're great for a while, just not for the whole game. That's
Short window.
The whole game, they're great.
Yeah.
But that's why you got to put the tinfoil to keep them warm. But all right, okay. That's gonna do it. Great Giants talk. Great overall NFL talk. I'm excited to get the season back going. Us back in the swing of things. Probably complaining a lot about the Giants. Who knows? Hopefully, we'll have some more uplifting weeks than the past couple. Because God, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to go.
By the way, if anybody wants my white suburban male trail mix recipe, I'll post it on Joing About the G-Men's website.
You don't need that. Get your bag of pistachios shelled.
Zay will also put up his recipe. It's just pistachios.
Jake said that. Now I'm scared. Nachos, unshelled
Yo,
pistachios.
I'll make an actual badass nacho recipe for you all. I'll do it, and it'll be badass. And you'll be
After
like,
what he
damn,
said about date rape
gonna
and
change your life.
Unshelled pistachios, I don't think I want to come near that. I don't think I'll stay home.
No, it's too much work with the unshelling the, and then when you got to throw them away, that's just too much work. I just want to.
Maybe we'll have to prepare a dish and present it on the show.
Nothing good comes easy.
Oh damn! Little G-Men take off.
Well, let's do it. I think that would be fun.
Hell yeah, I like that.
I'll put together a giant sub. You do your wet nachos. Zay, you bring the pistachios. We'll call it a party.
All right.
You can put a poll up. I'm pretty sure people would rather eat pistachios than nachos. Anyway.
All right. Whatever. Well, we'll
Sounds
do
like we need a poll.
We'll do a poll.
Let's poll the audience and see where they're at.
Hold on, but when you put my food up, remember I mentioned pizza. If we're gonna go main dishes, you gotta go pizza, sub, nachos.
Yeah. and nachos are going to win.
And then when you do side dishes, you could do pistachio, nachos, and whatever. What was it, Joe? What you said your side dish was?
Pretzels.
Pretzels.
Oh, pretzels.
And again, could be your choice. Sticks, snaps.
Oh, my God. All right.
You know the ones that have the checkers across the side?
I will say peanuts have as much history as pretzels do in a bar.
Very true. But but you picked pistachio, so for peanuts.
But think about what happened to peanuts.
What happened to them?
You tell me. They're not in bars anymore.
All right.
Pretzels.
Nut allergies.
Just won out.
I see peanuts in bars.
Those are nut allergies.
We don't touch it. Nobody eats peanuts in a bar. If you just saw a bowl with peanuts at a bar, you wouldn't eat it at this point in life. It doesn't feel right. It's just like this.
Okay, look, they compete in places. They compete on planes too. People eat more peanuts on planes than they do pretzels. So look, they compete.
I disagree with that.
Another poll.
Poll a stewardess is what we need to do. Find out what's really happening up 50,000 feet. I think it's pretzels are winning the day.
I'm sure we could Google it.
Dude, I went to the grocery store real quick. Last thought. I went to the grocery store yesterday. There's like a wall, like an 8-foot section. I was honest to God. I mean, there were so many different styles of pretzels. And then I went by the peanut section, and actual peanuts, it's just like one small,
No, stop it. They all go under the same umbrella. Don't do that. Cashews.
No. Almonds had its own little section, which it shared with cashews because, they're minor foods.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about like the different flavors of that stuff, as far as
the nut section,
they do it to
small.
almonds.
No, it's not. Are you kidding me? Between
compared to everything else,
honey roasted nuts. You have mixed with lime now. You have a mixed regular salted. You have them unsalted. You can get them. Stop it. There's so many variations you can get nuts. You can get a
chocolate flavored almonds.
I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this. This man is nuts.
Okay.
No pun intended.
Oh damn! All right, that's going to be the next debate, I guess. Nuts versus pretzels. Who wins? That'll be another poll. Nuts versus pretzels. But all right. Big shout out to Clovercrest Media for sponsoring today's episode. Make sure you check out clovercrestmedia.com for a bunch of other great podcasts along with more information about this podcast. And also big shout out to Annie Mac Home Mortgage, Shamrock Home Inspections, and Mosquito Shield for sponsoring today's episode. That's going to do it for John about the G-Men. For myself, Big Jace, Joe Guire, and King Zay. We'll see you next week to talk more Giants football. Take care, everyone.
Sanderson looking in, zone for a pass. He's looking for King, intercepted. He's going to go down the right side. Lawrence down to the 20, 30, down to the 40. He might go all the way.
3rd down and 7. Good jump off the line by Strahan, who gets the sack. Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet. Airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree.
4-man rush. Eli throwing into traffic on the sideline. They're going to rule it a catch by Manning.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All 4 Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.